All right, get ready because today we're going deep on Blockchain DXB. They've built this amazing resource hub with like hundreds of podcasts and blog posts. They cover basically everything happening in blockchain and cryptocurrency.
Yeah, they really do cover a lot. 625 podcast episodes, 4.4 million downloads.
Yeah.
That's wild.
It is, and they do it all in a way that anyone can understand. You know, sometimes it's easy to get lost in all the technical jargon, but Blockchain DXB breaks things down so it's clear whether you're a total beginner or you've been in the space for years.
Totally. Like with their coverage of the Ethereum Shapella upgrade,
Yeah.
instead of just like explaining what it is, they actually get into the impacts, like on staking yields.
Yeah.
If you're thinking about staking your ETH, their insights are like super valuable.
That's a great example. So, okay, let's say you're someone who wants to keep up with the crypto world, but you just don't have time to read through a ton of articles every day.
Well, their daily podcast is a game changer. They've got this segment, Crypto and Coffee at 8. It's perfect to start your day with.
Oh, I like that. Like a crypto espresso shot.
Yeah, exactly. And then like throughout the week, they have different segments that focus on specific areas. Tuesdays, they go deep on the tech side with Technical Tuesdays. So if you're interested in stuff like CK Snarks, those are like cryptographic tools. You can use them to prove something without revealing the actual information. It's kind of like magic, but with math.
Okay, gotta admit, that one always seemed a bit intimidating to me, but you actually made it sound understandable.
See, they're great at making even complex stuff approachable. And then for anyone who wants to understand the legal side, there's Regulatory Watch. They analyze all the newest policy changes happening globally.
Makes sense. Regulations can really make or break a project.
Oh, absolutely. And on top of that, their global market analysis is like really good. They break down trends in market capitalization, Bitcoin's dominance, altcoin performance, even what's happening in emerging markets like Nigeria, Indonesia, and the UAE.
So it's not just about, the price of Bitcoin. It's about understanding the forces driving those changes. Why should someone who, casually invests in crypto even care about these global trends?
Because it's all connected.
Yeah.
Crypto doesn't exist in a vacuum. Like regulations in one country or adoption in another, they can have a ripple effect on the entire market. Having that awareness can really help you make better decisions, whether you're just like a casual trader or a long-term investor.
I'm always impressed by how Blockchain DXB stays on top of all the cutting-edge stuff. I mean, blockchain tech is moving so fast, it can be hard to keep up.
I totally agree. And they're really good at making those emerging trends understandable. They've done these deep dives into things like Mimblewimble, which is all about privacy, and cross-chain solutions using platforms like Polkadot and Cosmos, which basically aim to connect different blockchains together.
Oh, and we can't forget about DeFi. They cover all those new protocols like Uniswap and Aave that are really shaking things up.
Exactly. And they don't just focus on the tech itself. They also look at what it all means for us, the users. Like, how could these technologies affect our investments or our privacy online? They really get you thinking about the big picture.
It's like they're getting you ready for a future where blockchain is everywhere.
Right. And that's where their interviews are so cool. They're bringing these huge industry leaders who are actually building that future. They have the team behind MakerDAO on, which is transitioning into this new entity called Sky. They talked all about their vision for stablecoins. And they've also had really interesting conversations with the Cardano people, all about their unique approach to governance.
Yeah, those interviews are always my favorite part. It's one thing to read an article, but hearing from the people on the front lines just adds this whole other level of understanding.
And it's not just big names in the West either. They've also talked with thought leaders from emerging markets, highlighting how blockchain is being used to solve problems in those areas.
It's exciting to see how blockchain is becoming a global movement like this.
Totally. And for those who want to really get into the details, Blockchain DXB's blog is like a gold mine of information.
So if the podcast is like your daily briefing, the blog is for a deeper dive.
Exactly. You can find anything from beginner guides on, like what a wallet even is, all the way to deep dives into complex stuff like smart contract architecture.
And their blog reflects that same global focus, right? I remember they had this awesome piece on how Dubai is becoming a blockchain hub.
Right. They cover adoption patterns in Africa and Southeast Asia too, analyzing, why blockchain is taking off in those regions.
I think that global perspective is so important because blockchain isn't just a Silicon Valley thing anymore.
Yeah, it's worldwide. And they don't shy away from the tough stuff either. They've got insightful articles on the rise of USDS stablecoins and how they could totally disrupt global finance. Plus, They analyze how things like the U.S. trade deficit can influence Bitcoin prices.
I don't think a lot of people realize just how connected the crypto market is with the rest of the world.
Exactly. And their blog goes beyond just, like, reporting the news. They've also got thought leadership pieces on the future of blockchain. They explore the convergence of AI and blockchain, the potential of the Ethereum name service for identity management, even the implications of quantum computing for security.
It's like they're giving you a sneak peek into what the future might hold.
They really are. And speaking of the future, they keep you updated on all the new regulations. They did deep dives into the UK's Bitcoin and digital asset bill, analyzed India's crypto tax policies, and even published reports on global adoption.
So they really cover everything.
From the technical details to the market trends to the regulatory landscape, they do it all.
It's impressive.
And one thing that sets Blockchain DXB apart is their focus on education and empowerment. They truly believe in making blockchain easy for everyone.
Yeah, it's not about making people feel lost. It's about giving them the knowledge and tools they need to be a part of this exciting new world.
Exactly. And you can see that in their content. They use clear language, avoid all that unnecessary jargon, and give tons of real-world examples. So even the toughest concepts make sense.
And it's clearly working. Millions of downloads and a thriving community. They've really made a name for themselves.
Definitely. And they don't just talk at their audience. They've got live sessions, interactive posts, Q&A segments. It's that community feeling that makes them stand out.
Yeah, like they're building a movement, not just a platform. Okay, so we've gone over a lot. What are the key takeaways about Blockchain DXB?
Well, first off, they have this really unique blend of global and regional perspectives. They cover worldwide developments, but they also pay special attention to the Middle East, where they're from.
And they're all about making blockchain accessible to everyone. Whether you're brand new or you're a crypto expert, their content is for you.
Absolutely. And they always find the most interesting stuff, like the latest tech breakthroughs, the changing regulations, and how blockchain could affect different industries.
It's like having a personal guide to this ever-changing world.
That's a good way to put it. One thing I really love about the blockchain space is the pace of innovation. It seems like every day there's a new breakthrough, a new use, a new possibility. It's so dynamic.
It really is. And that brings us to a question for you, the listener. Given how fast everything's moving, what part of blockchain tech are you most excited to see develop? Is it the potential for more financial inclusion, the creation of more secure and transparent systems, or maybe building totally new and immersive experiences in the metaverse?
It's a good question to think about because there's so many possibilities. Blockchain could reshape the world, and who knows, maybe you'll be part of it.
And that wraps up part 1 of our deep dive into Blockchain DXB. In part 2, we'll get even more specific and check out some of their most interesting articles and episodes. Until then, happy blockchain exploring. Welcome back to the deep dive. Let's get into some of those interviews and deep dives we mentioned before. Remember that behind-the-scenes look at MakerDAO's change into Sky.
Yeah, that MakerDAO interview was really interesting, especially if you're into the future of stablecoins. Just in case you don't know, MakerDAO is a big player in DeFi. They're the team behind DAI, that stablecoin pegged to the dollar.
And I liked how Blockchain DXB went beyond just explaining the name change to Sky. They got into what it means for the whole stablecoin world, the potential impact, how regulators might react, the future of DeFi.
It's important to understand this stuff. Stablecoins are a key part of DeFi. They try to bring stability to crypto, which can be so volatile. Blockchain DXB does a really good job of explaining how it all works and the challenges.
They also talked with the Cardano team, didn't they?
Yep, that Cardano interview is a must listen. If you want to understand how blockchain governance can work differently, Cardano has this unique system for making decisions and guiding development.
So it's not just about the tech itself, right? It's about who gets to decide what happens.
Exactly. Blockchain DXB lays out how Cardano's model works, its strengths, weaknesses, and how it compares to other platforms. It's fascinating stuff, especially if you care about decentralization.
And Blockchain DXB does such a good job of showing different viewpoints, like those interviews with thought leaders from emerging markets.
Yeah, those were great. They really highlight how blockchain is a global thing now. There was this one about how blockchain is improving financial inclusion in Africa.
Showing how blockchain can tackle real problems in places that often get overlooked.
Exactly. And their blog is packed with info, too. Remember that analysis of USDS stablecoins?
Yeah, that one caught my attention. USDS stablecoins are getting huge. They look at the potential impact on global finance, the good and the bad.
They don't just focus on the hype. They analyze the risks of USDS stablecoins, too, and what they could mean for traditional finance. It's balanced and valuable.
Like they're helping you weigh the pros and cons?
Right. And they also do these deep dives into regional adoption. I like their articles on how blockchain is growing in the Middle East, Africa, and Southeast Asia. They explain the challenges and opportunities specific to each region and why blockchain is taking off in those places.
That article on Dubai as a blockchain hub was really interesting.
Oh, yeah. And they also had a good one on how blockchain is improving supply chain transparency in Southeast Asia. Like, imagine tracking your food all the way from the farm to your plate, making sure it's real and ethically sourced. That's the kind of thing blockchain can do.
It's not just about finance. It can change so many industries.
Absolutely. And of course, we have to talk about regulation. Blockchain DXB analyzes all the big changes, like the UK's Bitcoin and digital asset bill and India's crypto tax policies. They explain what those regulations actually mean and how they could affect blockchain growth.
We don't shy away from the tough stuff.
Nope. Now let's talk about the future-focused stuff. Blockchain DXB goes beyond just finance. Their metaverse articles are a great example.
Oh yeah, the metaverse. They talk about these virtual worlds powered by blockchain, where you can own stuff, go to concerts, even buy virtual real estate.
They really capture the excitement, but they also go into the technical challenges of building it. Things like scalability and interoperability.
Grounding those futuristic ideas in reality.
Exactly. They talk about scalable solutions, security, interoperable blockchains, all essential for a decentralized and immersive metaverse.
And they go beyond the metaverse, too. They've got articles about blockchain and healthcare, supply chain management, even government.
That article on using blockchain for secure medical records was really cool. Imagine controlling your own data, easily sharing it with doctors. No more messy files and paperwork.
That would be huge.
Totally. And they also talk about how blockchain could streamline supply chains, lowering costs and making everything more efficient.
So many possibilities.
Yeah, and they even explore how it could improve voting systems, making them more secure and transparent.
It's amazing what blockchain can do.
Right. And they go beyond just speculating. They back it all up with real-world examples and expert insights. They did a deep dive into the Ethereum name service, ENS, talking about how it can simplify online identity.
I love how they explain ENS. Instead of remembering these long wallet addresses, you could just use your name.eth.
So much easier.
Right.
It's a perfect example of how blockchain can make our digital lives better and safer.
They also looked at cross-chain tech for DeFi 2.0, basically connecting different blockchains and making even more complex financial apps.
Taking DeFi to the next level. It's clear that Blockchain DXB isn't just reporting the news, they're shaping the future.
It's that mix of knowledge, clear explanations, and a forward-thinking approach that makes them so valuable.
Definitely. You know, we've covered a lot, but there's still more to explore. How about we take a break and come back for the last part of our deep dive into Blockchain DXB? We'll look at some specific examples and talk about why their approach to education is so important.
All right, back for the final part of our deep dive into Blockchain DXB. Thinking about all this amazing content they have, it really hits you, how much potential blockchain has beyond just cryptocurrency.
Yeah, it's incredible. And Blockchain DXB gets that. A lot of what they do is exploring those other uses. Like, remember the metaverse?
Oh, yes.
They really go deep on that, painting a picture of this future with virtual worlds run by blockchain. True ownership, new experiences.
And they don't just leave it at that, like, it'll be cool. They get into the technical stuff, too. The challenges of bringing it, like scalability, making sure it all works smoothly, interoperability so different virtual worlds can connect.
Right. The technical side is important. But they always tie it back to what it means for us, the users. Like with the metaverse, they talk about virtual concerts, owning digital art, even buying virtual land, all secured on the blockchain.
It makes you see how this tech could change how we do everything online, how we work, play, interact. And it's not just the metaverse, right? Blockchain DXB has covered how it could affect regular industries too, like supply chains.
Imagine tracking your food from the farm, or knowing for sure that those expensive shoes are the real deal. That's the kind of transparency blockchain can bring. Blockchain DXB has examples of companies already doing this, tracking coffee beans, sourcing materials ethically.
So many uses we haven't even thought of yet. And they talked about healthcare too. Having your medical records secure, easy to access, you're in control.
Right. No more digging through old files or trying to remember what the doctor said months ago. Blockchain could make sharing that info so much easier and way more secure.
Giving patients real power over their own data. And they even talked about voting, how blockchain could make it harder to cheat or manipulate.
Blockchain is so versatile. But it's good that Blockchain DXB also talks about the downsides, like the environmental impact of some blockchains, the need for good security, and making sure development is done responsibly.
They're not just cheerleaders. They want people to think critically. They have articles about the ethics of blockchain too, making sure it's used for good.
It's important to remember that blockchain is a tool, and like any tool, it can be used in good ways or bad ways. It's up to us to decide.
And that brings us back to education and empowerment, which is really at the heart of what Blockchain DXB does. They're not just giving you info, they're giving you the knowledge to make your own decisions, to be a part of this change.
And they make it easy to understand. They use plain language, avoid all that jargon, and give tons of examples. Anyone can get it.
We've seen that in everything they do, their podcasts, blogs, even how they interact with their community. They're building something special.
Definitely. A community of people who understand this stuff and are excited about it.
It's more than just info, it's a shared learning experience. So, as we wrap up this deep dive, we want you to remember this. The world of blockchain is always changing. There's always something new, new uses, new opportunities.
It's an exciting place to be. And Blockchain DXB can help you keep up.
Whether you're just starting out or you're deep in the blockchain world, check out their podcasts, their blog, their community.
Keep learning, keep exploring.
Who knows, maybe you'll be the one shaping the future of blockchain. Thanks for joining us on the deep dive.